Today I'm with T. T, how long have you been homeless?
3 years now.
And you said you were working recently. What happened with work and the place you were living at?
I kept my job while I was homeless. I've been on my own since I was 13. I've never been homeless until some complete strangers decided to play God with my life. I guess that's the best way to put it. I didn't notice it because I was working 3 jobs at the time. But they proceeded to take everything of mine. And every time I got a job, they would cause problems. I've dealt with haters all my life, but these people are just way out in left field. All over a man I've never met. That's why it's so important to always tell the truth and to always have faith. Because the truth always comes out sooner or later. And the truth always wins. So I kept my mouth shut, and got back on my feet, into a house in April of this year with my stimulus check. Because I've kept a job the whole time. With my stimulus check. And lo and behold, they got someone that looked like me. While I was at work in the morning, working 12, 14, sometimes 16-hour days, they were breaking into my house having parties. I'm running a brothel, basically. So Danny, Lorna, and Alyssa got me evicted, and they did so much damage to the house that he kept half my damage deposit. So I'm back on the streets, and then she finally, after a year trying to get me fired, finally ended up getting me fired because I couldn't take no more. They were messing with my job. I was homeless again. But I just keep deciding. God put it here for a reason, and it gives me strength. That's why you see me laying out in the morning with my coffee. But it's hard being a single female on the streets. You gotta be tough. It's aged me. I used to look like I was 30 years old, 35. I'm 54 years old, and I'm starting to look it in 3 short years. And everybody says, well, because you're a drug addict. No, I'm not. Nothing controls you. As long as you don't let nothing take control of you, you'll be all right. And that's what I do.
That's a real good attitude to have. I think you have a real good attitude about being out here. And you mentioned some of the dangers, right? It is dangerous out here, but how do you stay safe?
Hey, keep your neck on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings. Always. I was stalked when I lived here before, so that's really put my defenses up. And being ex-bail bondsman, I'm always aware of what's going on around me. That just comes from working in honky-tonks a lot, too. You know? If you don't know what's going on around you, you can't see, a gun coming out or, a stick coming your way or a fight breaking out, So, always be aware of your surroundings.
That's a good point. Situational awareness, right? And how do you stay away from the influence of blues, counterfeit fentanyl pills that's all around here? How do you do that? How do you manage?
I've just always, before I shattered my ankle in 2010, I'd run. I was always active. I played volleyball, I surfed in school, and growing up, split my time between Hawaii and Tennessee. I've just always been active. I love softball, but I ran a lot to wear my body out because my mind would just keep going and going. I'd think of more things. Well, I want to go here. I want to go there. My papa always told me something, and it is true. if someone's willing to take the time to teach you something, take the time to learn it, you never know when it might feed you. It may not be something you like, but at least that's knowledge. And knowledge is power. Money and gold and Escalades and all that. You heard about that lady in Atlanta that sold a $5,000 ring just so some man, during that snowstorm, because she couldn't make a fire. She had 3 kids in the car, but she couldn't make a fire to warm the soup that she just bought at the store. You know, knowledge is power. Learn as much as you can about as much as you can. You know, a lot of people, I used to read a lot. My great-granny always made me read. First the Bible, then I got on to history. I love history. But I always wanted to see the places I read about, like Yellowstone, the Oregon Trail, you know, San Francisco waterfront, and that's just, I still want to go. I still have places I wanted to go. But having complete strangers come into my life and completely tear my life apart and steal my identity is just unbelievable.
Where do you want to be in the next 3 months, 6 months? T, what are your plans to get off the street?
Well, I'm going to have some medical done. I've been putting it off because I've got to have the medical, I've got to have a spinal tap done, and I can't move for 48 hours. I mean, I can, but not like on the street hauling a cart around. But I just want my own peace of mind back. I had a mobile home paid for, my blazer was paid for, and I had a great job at a 55 plus mobile home park. And I was working 2 jobs other than that. You know, I worked at a bar 2 or 3 nights a week, and I worked at a little dollar store 1 or 2 nights a week, you know? Because I never wanted to have to worry about money when I had, you know, my medical, when I started my medical. So I was always had so much pride, I can't beg for money. That's something I can't do. I tried, and I was crying within the first 2 minutes. I can't do that.
So how do you make money?
I collect cans and metal. You know, that's the only way. Because I don't work the streets. There's nothing wrong with the oldest profession. I have no problem with the ladies that do it. It's just not for me. You know, what can you say? I'm just a good old Catholic girl, and there's some things I still believe in. You know, even at 54, I still believe in them because I got the faith.
How can people help you? Is there anything that people can do for you? Any resources that you would reach out to? There's a lot of resources as far as shelters, and the city does have programs.
I'm a minority. I'm over 50. I have no children, and I'm divorced. And I'm a batter abuse survivor, but I also have PTSD. And non-society, non-social, it's a big old thing. But I like to be around people, but sometimes I'm just quiet. It's not that I'm upset or I'm mad or anything. When I was little, I learned a couple of things, and one of them was watch, listen, and learn. Just sitting back watching people and listening, you can learn a lot. And I've learned a lot just by watching people and listening to people. Some I didn't want to hear. But another thing is, if it don't belong to you, don't touch it. You know, but I live by the golden rule. I try to do everybody like I would want to be treated. You know, even when I wasn't homeless, you know, we did the charities, you know, feeding on Thanksgiving and stuff. But it's also, when you see them on the street and they're just sitting at a bus stop, just say hello. Just let them know they're alive. You know, that you do notice them, they're there. You'd be surprised. You know, it's like my great-granny used to say, always smile. It don't cost nothing. And you never know. That person might be having a worse day than you.
We never know what other people are going through in their mind, right?
Exactly. And a smile don't need no words. Don't need cost no money. And, you know, you don't have to do nothing for it.
So, T, you bring up great points, you know, for all of us to learn from. Be compassionate, be nice, you know, try to understand your fellow man, listen, learn, try to improve and get better,
And
right?
be straight.
So I'm gonna thank you very much, T, for talking to me, opening up, and just sharing your story. Hopefully somebody out there listens to you and really becomes a better person, right?
You know, everybody follows people, and that's great for positive things. But always be yourself and do what's best for you. You're only young once. You know, all this hoopla and everything, bad stuff, it's going to be here in 5 years. You know, you can always come back to it. You know, you can always go back to the bar. It's going to be there. But you want to do something when you're young with your life, because you only get one life. So do as much, learn as much, and see as much.
Great advice, T. Please stay safe, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you out here again, okay?
Hopefully not. But thank you very much.
Thank you.